You
But
know?
here's what you did do. You took all of it
Right.
and did this with it.
Packaged it. Definitely.
I mean,
Yeah.
not everybody does that.
No.
Not everybody does it successfully, where you can take your abilities
Right.
and your past and your struggles and put it all together. And in the case of this run,
Yeah. Put it together.
full circle, bring it all back,
Definitely.
pay it forward, pay it backwards, pay it forward.
Yeah.
Both, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's like, I know what they need because I needed it.
Right.
I know how I can help because I can run.
Of course. Of course.
And I don't know how you got your organizational skills.
Yeah.
Maybe from all the things you were struggling with to keep secrets and to hide.
Yeah.
All the talents you developed as a what do you want to call it? I want to say a dodgeball guy.
Right.
Where you just kind of like you gotta try to keep all those secret balls in the air.
Yeah. Pieces of the puzzle.
Made you an entrepreneur, being able to keep other kinds of balls in the
Right.
air. You know.
I think so. I think.
Did I just go crazy on you?
No, I totally got what you were saying. No, I totally, because I think that's what it was. When you have all these different components that you're trying to juggle from youth, you know, when your dad is not around by the time you're age 8 and you're the oldest boy in the family, you take on a lot of responsibilities as dad. I remember even just as a kid, before I was able to reach the stove or be playing on the stove, we needed to learn how to cook our own meals, because with 5 kids in the household, mom's got to be at work. So it was literally my sister and I. My sister is a year older than me. We were having to figure out how we're going to take care of the other kids in the house, you know. So we're really standing on chairs to cook on the stove. We're standing on chairs to wash the dishes before mom gets back, you know. And so there was a lot of things that from youth or from childhood we had to learn early. And so I think that when you put all of those things together with kind of starting your adult life in your childhood, and then through just all of the organization that needed to be in place to keep things in order in your life, I think that's how it all came together this way, you know. And so to be able to look at, like you said, all of the things that they need here, because I'm a product of that, you know. And so when I understand what helped me and how that can help a kid here,
and what you could have used that you didn't get.
that I didn't get, of course, you know. And again, one of the biggest things that I thought was there, or that was necessary, was awareness. We're here. We're struggling, you know, and we could use help. We don't need much. Hey, if you can read me a story, it gets me away from what I'm dealing with. It's not always about money. We just need people to acknowledge that, hey, we're here. Not every homeless person that you see is homeless because of alcohol abuse or drug abuse or any of those things, you know. To us, it was difficulty with my mom finding work, and there was a lot of children in the household.
And that's, I mean, honestly, more so today than ever.
Of course.
That can be the story.
Of course. You know how hard it is for people to find work even now?
It's easy for us to say, oh, they're just drug addicts.
Of course. Of course.
Even a drug addict. I mean, I'm not, but you know what I'm saying.
Yeah.
That some people,
they all need help,
that.
of course, but people just walk past them, you know. But what a lot of people don't understand is that I think the majority of homeless cases are not because of alcohol abuse or drug abuse. Statistics might tell you that, but if you actually hang out around the homeless people, I mean, I've met a lot of them growing up in those places that I was at, and if you listen to most of their stories, work was tough. I didn't have enough education to get the job that was necessary for me to provide for my family, you know. And of course, some people would say, well, then why'd you have so many kids? Well, things weren't always bad, you know. Things weren't bad when we were living in a house and everything was great, but eventually divorce happens, you know. And when the divorce happened, then things became really tough because it wasn't 2 parents' income.
Right.
And then when it's only 1 parent, how do you balance raising your children and going to work? There has to be that give and take, you know? So of course we spent a lot of time trying to figure things out on our own so that our mom can be at work, but she lost a lot of jobs.
Way too much for you.
Of course.
It was way
at 8
too
years
much
old.
For 8-year-olds to have to do that kind of
To
stuff.
have to think about that.
It's
It was a lot.
crazy.
It was a lot.
And I'm not blaming your mom. It's
Not
just
at all.
Like, that's crazy stuff to put on top of you.
Of course. Yeah. So I mean, it was just.
But it made you who you are, right?
It really did. And you know, strangely, I wouldn't trade any of what I went through, because like you said, it brought me to where I am right now, and I feel like I have a great understanding of how I can help the people that went through this, or not that went through, that are going through right now the same things that I went through. And if that's the only reason why God had me go through all of those things in my life, then it happened for the right reason, and I'm okay with it, because I know that through some of these events that I'll be able to put together to help shed some light on these places, that allows me to be a superhero, and so it all comes back. And so yeah, so it helps me.
So this is run one of a series of them?
There will be a series of them. I think from here we're going to go to Hollywood, Florida, where I feel like there's...
Then you don't have to change the shirt.
No, yeah, we still run Hollywood. No, yeah, it all stays the same. All the branding is the same. I don't have to duplicate it. So yeah, it does.
Genius.
Yeah, no, gee, you should work with me. We'll go saving the world together.
One Hollywood at a time.
Yeah, one Hollywood at a time. No, Hollywood, Florida, I think it's going to be great. It's coastal, so it's not so city-like out there, but I know that in Florida, people deal with the same poverty issues that they deal with out here. Everyone assumes, oh, the weather's great out there, and everything is just so amazing, just like what brings people here to Hollywood and they end up broke. Everyone feels, oh, California weather is great. If I get to Hollywood, I'll be a star. Not the case. You're not going to get here and be a star. It's not that easy for most people. And so they come here with these dreams of grandeur and find themselves homeless on the streets and needing help.
How do you feel about yourself?
Right now I'm happy. I'm really happy. It's been a challenge putting this thing together, especially putting it together with my pregnant wife, So for the last 9 months we've been working on this event, and literally she's been pregnant from the day that we started working on this event to the baby is due 3 days after the event.
That's why she has that look like, I'm gonna kill you.
Of course. Like, why did we choose this date to try and do this? But the timing, I think, was all great, and maybe I just feel like, really God allows things to happen the way they do for a reason, and maybe this whole nurturing and taking care of this race, to me, I'm supposed to be viewing it the same way with this baby that's in my wife's womb right now. And just being able to nurture something and raise it upright, because I don't want this event to go away, So you give it that care and attention as though you would a child. And
have you? And I don't. There must be more than Steve Carlston from NBC.
Right.
That's said. Oh, cool. I mean, what does it make you feel like when you get that kind of response from a company?
From people that understand this?
Yeah. I mean, that must just
it lets me know that I'm doing the right thing,
You knew it anyway.
I didn't know it anyway.
You didn't?
Not at all. No, not when every single race or the majority of races that are out there, they all support cancer research, leukemia research, and all these different things, but we're missing the fact that there's people that are homeless that we're running right past while we're helping someone with cancer or charity or leukemia or any of these things, And so I felt that by doing this, I didn't know that people would really support it or care. Of course, you want people to have the same passion that you do for it, but you can't. How do you get that out there to people? And so I felt like the fact that I've been through that, and maybe people who see me as a regular guy or see me as a nice guy can understand, hey, that's a real person that went through that, And if you heard it coming from me and you felt like I was a cool guy, you might be more inclined to help, because you felt like, well, he's a nice guy, he's not on drugs, he's not drinking, I'd help him, but I wouldn't help that guy. Well, that guy has the same story that I do. You just haven't spoke to him yet. He's probably a nice guy.
Or, you mean I can help by running?
Of course.
Well, I can do that.
Yeah.
Right?
That's easy. That's easy. I don't have to give you money. I'll just sign up to run. Well, you gave them money anyway. Good job. So, I mean, it's great, So I didn't think people would get it in the beginning, but I think they do now.
And what does that feel like?
Amazing. I love that feeling. I love knowing that, wow, I was able to help. That one man has now spread into about 10,000 people who are now supporting this event. So it really goes to show that one person can stand up and say, hey, I'm going to try and make a difference. And it spread. One man who was at one point homeless, I dropped out of college. You know, I definitely don't have the
great resume
at all to be doing any of this, and that's
and
why
yet you do.
Yes,
you have the life resume,
and it really worked out. And that's why when Steve told me, and when that comes from the president of NBC, who says to you, the chances of you being successful in this world, and this was during all this lotto stuff that was going on next week, he said the chances of you being successful in this world are just as rare as whoever's going to win this lottery right now. And so he's like, what you just did, it's kind of a big deal, you know, because you're not supposed to be successful, and right now it seems like you are. So I mean, so when you hear that, that's great. When you realize, wow, that I'm being recognized by someone as the president of NBC to say, yeah, I think you're successful right now at this. It's a great feeling, you know, and I think that all came from the support of all of these people who said, yeah, Ken, we hear what you're trying to do, and we appreciate your cause, and we're going to back you up on this, and we're going to come run Hollywood.